What did you think about the next match on this list? What did you think about uh, Damian Priest, Finn Balor? Did you care?
Didn't care, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad.
Was
I
it a pay
have
per
to.
view match though? Was it a pay per
It
view match?
wasn't a bad match, but exactly, it wasn't a pay per view worthy match. At this point, who cares about that? Like this whole feud has been done terribly wrong with them. Honestly, I you you would find more people caring if it actually meant something, or even if it was done differently. But no,
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely not care about this match.
I think it's a problem that we have with a lot of WWE PLEs, and a problem we're gonna face, which is like you have these 5 match PLEs, and every match should be a banger, but the way WWE does it is they structure like even Triple H's booking, right? How many times have we seen, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley on the same card?
Right.
Recently? How many times have we seen some variation of Finn Balor and Damian Priest? I mean, Bailey and Nia Jax. It feels like we're getting just extension after extension after extension after extension on all of these feuds, and it's part of the problem with the Triple H booking. And I think I like Triple H compared to Vince McMahon as a booker. It like night and day. I'm willing to accept
Absolutely.
all of that, and that is fine. But you can't just settle on being better than Vince McMahon, literally coming off of some of the worst major wrestling booking we've ever seen in history. You
You gotta be
can't.
better in general. You can't just be better than him. You have to strive for the top, you
Like,
know?
if you ask me right now, Triple H is getting lapped when it comes to wrestling booking on a major North American show. Like, he's getting lapped within his own company.
I was
There
gonna
is a
say even Shawn Michaels booking is way better
there
than,
is a
than Triple.
legitimate argument to be made, whether or not I think it's accurate or whatever, but there is a legitimate argument that I think is valid to be made that Shawn Michaels is the best booker in North American pro wrestling.
It's a legit argument. It is. Whether you agree with it, whether I agree with it, it's a legit argument. Like he's look at NXT. Look at NXT and look at their lineup for just tonight. It is leaps and bounds better than Raw's lineup last night.
Yep. The show matters. Like, that's the thing. Raw
Yeah,
doesn't really matter. Like, even they just recently switched back to 2 hours Raw, right? And they did exactly what they were doing when Raw was like 2 hours back in the day with the women's division. They just put
yep,
all the women in one match. I got 12 women's like 12. It was like Divas era, like 12 Divas tag matches, like 12 women's tag match. And I'm sitting here like, and there was nothing else. There was
yep.
nothing else driving women's storylines on the show. And I'm like, Shawn Michaels has somehow cracked the code, quote unquote. And I'm saying that sarcastically, right? Of like booking women's wrestling and having multiple women's storylines develop on his 2 hour show. So I'm like, you're telling me
NXT
it's
might
not possible on Raw, but it's
have
possible
the
on NXT? Come on now.
best. NXT might have the best women's division in North America right now.
I agree.
It it
I think so.
it, it it's it is interesting to even say when you look at the amount of talent on like AEW's women's division or Raw or whatever. But like we all have agreed and said that Tony Khan doesn't do a great job with booking women's wrestling. But he is getting better. He
A
has
lot better.
gotten better.
A lot better.
A whole lot better. But with that being said, Shawn Michaels is quite possibly the best, has the best women's division on TV in NXT.
Yeah.
It matters. It makes sense. The matches aren't just stupid. The matches make sense.
And the biggest problem with Triple H is I think like he's kind of relying on the idea of like long term storytelling to get him by, right? And
Right.
like
Which
look,
is fine.
long term storytelling is great. We love long term storytelling, but you also have to make what happens like in between the long term storytelling matter and develop your characters. Take for example, right now, what I view as like the best story this year in wrestling, that being Hangman and Swerve.
Yeah.
Hangman and Swerve, Trevor, were not wrestling for the entire year. They were not
They
like,
should-
it was not like pay per view match after pay per view match after pay per view match like 3-4 times in a row this year. They took a break at
they did.
Revolution. They had the triple threat match, and we slowly saw an evolution of Hangman's character. It wasn't just Hangman, being like, oh man, like I need to beat Swerve. It was Hangman Page turned from someone who was like beloved babyface, the guy who the fans wanted to win and all that kind of stuff, to someone who viewed the fans as turning on him. In his eyes, he was like the good guy, and there was so much nuance, that storyline and that character. And you compare that to like Cody Rhodes and what Triple H has done with Cody Rhodes. Cody is the same guy he was the day he walked into that company, and that is not. And that is not an indictment on Cody, the human or even the wrestler. It is an indictment on the character that Triple H has made him into, or has not really made him into, because there's been no development. No one can tell me how Cody is different outside of holding that belt, which I get is important, but outside of holding that belt as a character, as a human in this story, how is he different? How has he evolved? How has he gotten, better? What's his motivation? We don't know.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, like you said, and let's just call a spade a spade.
Call it.
No one in WWE or WWF, whatever you want to call it, has ever booked a Rhodes worth a damn. And that's the truth.
He's just a common man.
Get mad. Say what you want. You take Dusty Rhodes, one of the biggest talents in NWA, one of the biggest talents in the southern area of the wrestling globe, and he's a champion holder. He's had bouts with Ric Flair. He's had bouts with like legends, Harley Race, guys like all these guys. Hell, my brother went to what was it, Starcade? That was in the in DC, the DC Armory, and they tore it down. And Dusty was the main attraction. And you literally say on national TV you couldn't market Dusty Rhodes. You say that. You come out your mouth and say you couldn't market Dusty Rhodes.
It's a lie. I mean, it's that whole idea that Vince had of only big, strong bodybuilders can work in North America, which is a lie.
And the same thing with Dusty. The natural Dustin Rhodes tore up Texas wrestling, tore up WCW. And you take him WWE, you slap paint on his face and make people question whether he's gay or not. Like, come on. Come on, dude. Like, and then you take Cody and do the same thing. Like, you take a talented wrestler that has set records, has sold out places, has done numbers, like everywhere else he's been. Then you get a second chance with him. You bring him back. You put a belt on him. He's still nothing.
Outside of the 3 months leading up to, or even the 2 months leading up to Mania, because like that first month was dog shit. But
they don't market Rhodes well. They
market him well. They just don't They just don't tell stories.
They don't write well.
Let's just say it.
Listen,
He tagged with Roman Reigns. I still don't know why. I'm in storyline, if I'm Kevin Owens, dude, I'm siding with Kevin Owens who beat down Cody Rhodes, because I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? like they have cost all your friends, whether it be Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens. There's anyone who has a gripe with the bloodline, it's that man. 3 times he's been screwed out of the world title because of the bloodline. Sami Zayn's been screwed out of it. Randy Orton. 3 people who allegedly are friends of Cody Rhodes. And just like that, without any explanation outside of the respect of this business is what integrity is all about. It's word salad. His promos are meaningless right now. Triple H is doing a horrid, stinky, smelly job booking Cody Rhodes right now.
Cody should not be. Cody wasn't happy before. He definitely shouldn't be happy now. Because, like you said, their writing for him sucks. The booking of his matches are terrible. Like, they're making him look like this. First off, with the name being the American Nightmare, you're too cootsy wootsy anyway. Like, to be American Nightmare, you should be out there dropping buku elbows, smacking motherfuckers with chairs. Like, come on. like, come on. Like, I'm an American Nightmare. Get the hell out of my face. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they just don't that don't do him well. They don't write him well. They don't book him well. Like
Triple H, fix it, man. It's your
I
job.
mean, hey, let Shawn do it.
Let
Shawn can do it.
Shout out to Shawn Michaels. Him and his bro.
Shawn make Trick Williams a star.
Someone asked Shawn in the I think it was like not a media call but like an interview, like what his like search page looks like on Instagram. I promise you that thing is crazy.
Oh, you know it is.
He's scouting, bro.